This is America's voice, Mark Twain. I was born and raised in Missouri, located in the middle of the country, so people were always going places, east to west, and north to south. Some of the movement was commercial, to be sure, but it was the people who were interesting. Talking with them, we learned of faraway places, different cultures. The news of the world was filtered into our backwater land by travelers pursuing opportunity. I happen to know that men are better at directions than women, but it was easy to get pointed in the right direction in Missouri because it is the show me state after all. And we show you how to leave our fair state with grace and charm. Two actors portrayed Mark Twain in one man shows, which you can find online. Hal Holbrook and Val Kilmer, who have both joined their inspiration in the afterlife, wherever they may have ventured. During the full span of my life, giant human like skeletons were dug up all across the country, and reports of those discoveries were published in all the newspapers, detailing their height and circumstances under which they were found. They weren't the only giant creatures discovered, as we also learned of the existence of dinosaurs and ice age mammals that were quite large. Megafauna, they have been dubbed, and it would likely take a giant man or team of them to take down many of those extremely large animals. It was thought that humans never coexisted with dinosaurs, as they were here long before humans evolved on this world. However, the megafauna is another story altogether, as humans did coexist with them over 13,000 years ago. Now they are all dead. I do not fear death. I had been dead for billions and billions of years before I was born, and had not suffered the slightest inconvenience from it. This brings me to the present time, and it's a world of hurt for many, thanks to the orange demon in the White House. Talk about tarnishing our image. He's destroying the entire world, or at least most of it. The repercussions of his policies are devastating to most of the normal humans, and only the wealthy don't feel the pain too much. It doesn't matter what party you voted for in the previous elections. The consequences of having sociopathic morons in charge is devastating the lives of many Americans and people seeking asylum here. That monstrous madman means to murder many Americans, although it's done almost passively, outsourced to other nations run by dictators and such. Additionally, multiple diseases and health problems will impact Americans to the point of death. Rationalization is a Gemini quality, but he doesn't stop there, blowing right past thought or logic and launching a counterattack, even though he's just been asked a question he doesn't like. It's all Trump speak, jumbling words and confused thoughts and gaslighting. However, despite the hate, the fear, and the conflict they provoke, the people united will outlast the wannabe dictator. Teaming up with billionaires made it clear that we would tumble down the path of fascism. It is a very tangled web we're stuck in, a stacked deck almost. As you pull yourself up, the powerful authoritarians kick you down. Usually it's the dense, undereducated minions that do the kicking. They don't care who you are. They seem programmed to ignore facts. No amount of evidence will ever persuade an idiot. Our education system was diminished in the 1980s, which is a decade in which Halley's Comet returned, and Republicans have continued to dismantle what was once the example to the world. If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you read the newspaper, you're misinformed. Consider the average intelligence of the common man, then realize 50% are even stupider because they voted for him. The more I learn about people, the more I love my dog. You meet people who forget you. You forget people you meet, but sometimes you meet those people you can't forget. Those are your friends. How easy is it to make people believe a lie, and how hard it is to undo that work again? There are three kinds of lies: regular lies, damn lies, and statistics. Well, that needs amending, as there are all sorts of lies these days. There are necessary lies, uh, as in what the government has said about alien spacecraft for more than 80 years. There are unnecessary lies, like what comes out of the mouth of a demented old moron who lies as easily as breathing. Lies of obfuscation and lies of contradiction to reality. There are some blatant lies, which have also been termed gaslighting. This here is the foundation of propaganda. Repeat the lies often enough, the gullible begin to believe them. To our collective great detriment, the Republican Party is no longer facing the truth, often ducking questions that would expose the cowards they are. Hypocrites are a special kind of liar, or perhaps lying is just their specialty. I've heard there's a special place in hell for those world destroyers, plainly motivated solely by their greed. We have the best government that money can buy. Our lives, our liberty, and our property are never in greater danger than when Congress is in session. The trouble with the world is not that people know too little, it's that they know so many things that just aren't so. If ignorance is bliss, why isn't the world happier? And don't get me going on about the courts. I hate to hear people say, well, this judge will vote so and so because he's a Democrat, and this one so and so because he is a Republican. It is shameful. The judges have the Constitution for their guidance. They have no right to any politics save the politics of rigid right and justice when they are sitting in judgment upon the great matters that come before them. However, in these times, judges, and especially the SCOTUS conservatives, are blind to the laws that have stood for 2 centuries. They have been co opted by a raging lunatic who threatens them into submission. Those people, early stricken of God intellectually, the departmental interpreters of the laws in Washington, can always be depended on to take any responsibly good law and interpret the common sense all out of it. Where every man in a state has a vote, brutal laws are impossible. Why else would they kick people off the voter rolls? That concludes part one. Part two continues. Check uh, my page, and I will continue there. All right.